You must unite what has been set asunder.
We are TFR. Truth Frequency Radio.
When you finally boil it all down, magic is imagination. We are moving into an age of manifestation. Things become actually less material, more ethereal. The golden dawn is when we awaken to this new station of life. What you think becomes real quicker. Regain our imagination, regain our inner child, and let that inner child out.
My name is Frank Castle, founding member of the music group Heist Click and New York City Neo Shaman. After a serious injury sidelined my career in 2013, I decided to set out on an adventure to search for myself with the help of the plant medicine Ayahuasca. What I discovered waiting for me was something I could have never prepared for. It was time for me to become something more, someone more. It was time I became fearless. Shine as my heart beats in rhythm with space and time. When the light starts to shine inside your third eye, you awake to the knowledge that you never die.
What is up, everyone? My name is Frank Castle, your sorcerer supreme. Each and every night, and every day, everywhere, under every stone, in every crack, in every corner, the sorcerer supreme rules supremely over sacred space, echoing light out into the universe. I am here, and I am sovereign, and I am free, and we are fearless, and I am joined by my etherical translator and co-host, Paula Milo.
Hey, everyone.
How's it going?
Good.
Pretty good?
Yeah.
Okay, let's turn this like this.
Almost got hit by a car today, but that's okay.
Well, that's pretty intense.
Yeah.
Well, I have a little bit of an announcement to make, Paula and I. Right?
Yes, we do.
It was a long thought-out process that came upon us quickly, like a wave, and we were deep in thought about this, but knew it to be the right thing to do for us, for the Fearless family, for the listeners, for everyone that's been here with us the entire time. But tonight is our last episode on Truth Frequency Radio. Tonight we finish off in the now moment of the great story that is known as Fearless. But it shall continue. That we harbor no ill will or no injustice, no darkness.
No, it's with a heavy heart that this is happening.
But it is with a heavy heart. This was discussed, and I openly with myself and Chris. The Fearless family is now needed elsewhere. It's a beautiful place to be part of the family tree.
It really is, though. I mean, we've all come together.
This has been the fortress of solitude,
yeah,
or the Batcave, for as long as I could remember. But now, even as I use the analogy of Batman and Robin, eventually Robin grows up a little bit more and realizes he's not wearing a mask any longer.
And he gets his own show on the DC network.
He takes his mask off and then just goes out and becomes a new character. Something that he approves.
I think this is the next chapter for us. You know, Frank and I have been doing a lot of adulting lately and making changes in our personal life, in our home life, and I think this is just going to be a beautiful.
I don't see this as a bad thing.
Yeah, it's going to be a, you know, this time here with you was wonderful. Each and every episode was wonderful.
And all the time spent with each and every one of you.
Exactly.
145 episodes and all the interviews and just all the different interactions in the chat room with some of the most amazing people. And I've never seen some of your faces yet, and I hope one day to do it. Although the heavy heart, the sun is shining so much on us right now, because like the baby bird that's ready to leave the nest to build his own space, his own place, where we could expand and move back and forth between families. So it doesn't always have to be under the same roof. We're all still family. We're all still friends. But we need to expand. And the Starship FearLess is needed in multiple places, in many places. So the show's not over. FearLess isn't over. Just FearLess on Truth Frequency Radio has seen its last chapter today. You can find us specifically on YouTube at Frank Castle FearLess, Saturday nights.
9 o'clock, 9 p.m. Eastern. Same show, different venue.
Within that, there will be no ability for anyone to have a distaste or distrust or dislike. I mean, at that point, you don't like it, you just don't tune in. There's no drama. Paula and I have exceeded expectations beyond what... I had to think about this over the course of 24 hours, but knew already that it was time. And I'll explain more. I had a massive deja vu creating the flyer.
Yes, that's right. That's right. When you were doing the show flyer.
I had, I looked down, I saw numbers on a page. I saw my yellow page thing that I write on, I scribble on, a couple of things in my line of sight, action figures and stuff. As I looked up on the screen, we use the Endgame portal, right? So it's the from the Avengers movie. So as I'm doing it, I totally just sit in this deja vu for like a minute, and I'm, deja vu usually overtakes you with a blast, or this had a comforting effect.
It was subtle.
And I said, I remember this. Oh, this was from a while ago.
Yeah. Well, there were a lot of other things that had happened, just sequences of events that kind of led us to this direction for a while. And I think it's just the right move for us to make. The
universe has different plans for the family. Some of us are literally the arena fighters, the warriors in the arena. That's where we do best, right? We're needed in other places. We can all emanate from one spot, or we can start creating more spots to attach to, more grid lines with just as much potency and power as everything else. I can no longer wear a mask. And I ask you, if I was to tell you certain things or say certain things, if it would still be me wearing a mask. This is my big thing I was telling Paula earlier. If I came out and said to you, and just metaphorically, of course, I'm the son of Enki, I'm Horus, it's literally me, and I'm here to help. Do you think that would help, or do you think that would hurt the situation? Because I'm just putting on another mask. And I feel like no matter what I say or do, I can't be in the deception of who's who and who's what any longer. We've helped everyone along to this point. It's the advanced class for sure. And I refuse to wear a mask anymore. This is me. And you're going to get all of me all the time.
But that's what we promised ourselves when this started originally. Do you remember when we sat down, we had because it was a long time before we decided to do this, to actually talk about our experiences. And, when Frank and I first started discussing how the show was going to be laid out, we decided that transparency was the best way to go. If we're not going to tell the story from the heart
And the
and
story's not even worth being told.
recount the events as they happened for us, then we weren't going to talk about anything, because if we couldn't be true to what happened and true to the stories and true to ourselves, this wasn't going to be fun for us.
Shamanically, we were meant to tell the story.
Tell the story the way it happened.
As it happened and as it's happening.
Yeah.
Because you guys are always within a few weeks of exactly what's going on.
Exactly. And, that kind of transparency and that kind of honesty is very difficult for a lot of people to handle. It's a lot of information for people to take in, and, again, we're telling a story. This is a story based on sequences of events that have happened with us, in our home, outside, what led us to come to this decision to be here today. Everything that's happened, we felt we needed to share because other people were going through similar things, but they didn't have anyone to talk to. And
they didn't even have a reference point.
Nothing. And we wanted to help other people feel, I guess, comfortable about what they were experiencing.
We came up behind Terrence McKenna and his ilk, and we blasted through and laid path for you, for us, not just for you. It's for all of us, because I'm in the now and it's happening to me. So I'm right there with you. I'm not more important. I'm not less important.
No, we're just two people that are telling a story. Two people who are telling a story, and that's the way we started this. That's the way we've been conducting it since the beginning, and that's the way we will continue to go forward. So nothing will be changing but the venue. And, we hope that you'll follow us and you'll still tune in Saturday, 9 p.m. Eastern, and listen to the story.
And I hope you guys don't feel bad. Don't worry. You just don't be concerned. There's nothing. There's no drama.
No drama, just love. This is the
love.
Next chapter.
All right. So in the beginning, Chris and Cherie, all the way up to now and continuing in the future, but they gave us the opportunity. Gave us an opportunity that was golden. Right? And it took me a year to even say, I'm in. I actually said, no, I can't, because I was afraid. So the FearLess was like, Chris offered a platform, and Chris and Cherie offered a platform where they're like, dude, just come up here. You know what's going on. You're learning who you are. You need to tell the story. So the purpose was to man up, in the Bronx terms, right? Become fearless,
to not be afraid,
and tell the story. Don't embellish. Don't make shit up. It's already crazy. You don't need to make up more. There's no making up. See, the beautiful thing about FearLess and what we've done here is we just told the story. There's no going back to having to fix mistakes. We're not working it out live on air like that. We're not having guests on and other people, and we're just telling our story. Right? So it's just the perspective that helps you or helps everyone or anyone that wants to make it a little bit easier and let you know, this is happening. And it's not going to happen for everyone. It's no longer my position to feel I need to wake up anyone.
No,
We've
that's not what
it out now.
Yeah, that's not what it's about. It's about people having a place to come to share similar experiences.
Exactly. Well, the FearLess family.
Because they're
sure.
Well, that's why we call it that. Because even the name, if you remember, when we were going back a couple of years ago, when we were trying to figure it out, it is a family. You don't have to be blood related to be a family.
It would be too. All right, so I'm Italian. You're Italian. I thought it'd be too cheesy to have FearLess family. Right, because me familiar, the whole Italian thing, right? And I wrote it on the screen, and then tried a million other things, I went in 80 different directions. I went in such directions you'd be like, dude, just stop. Just go Fearless Family. And then even recently I changed the name of a few things, right? So you can join us in the groups at Facebook at The Fearless Family, right?
Yeah.
You want to find the Fearless page where we have items that you can shop and you can just check out what's going on and everything. It's We Are Fearless.
Yeah, none of that has changed.
Right? So everything's the same. The names have been fully integrated and upgraded because that's what it is. I've always, we talked about this. I always want, like, what bothers me is I love, the start of the show and the being part of Raw, the ending of Raw's show and the going into the paranormal portal or even beyond the veil at those points. It was one of the greatest experiences for me.
Oh, for me as well. Me as well. And you know me, I took a while to get on board because I had a corporate job and I couldn't have any of this out.
The first 7 episodes, you notice even on the flyers.
Yeah, my name isn't even on it. I was worried about my job. And then I said, this is ridiculous. I want to tell my story, and I want people to understand that there are other people out there going through what they're going through.
Yes, that the whole
and that's the whole thing.
The platform is to literally not make Paula and I famous.
Well,
right?
That's not happening.
It's not about that. It's not about even ratings. Because if there was just 20 people, 5 people listening, then I'm covering 5 people, right? And we're growing through this together. But it's not 5 people. It's more like 5,000 people when you put them all together. And we need to reach more. We need to do more. We need to be more true to who we are. So, like a great comic book, right? Like the 3 years we've been here. We're at episode 145. So it's a collection of individual comic books in one big book.
Absolutely.
And you can read the book.
Chapters in a book.
Chapters in the book. And you could jump to the chapters that are important, the reptilians. You could jump to the manifestation chapters. You could jump to crazy Frank stories on, in hyperspace. You can do all of that. It's all there. And then you close that book, and it's the now moment with me. It's like, what's going on right now? Well, I'm going to tell you a few things. First, before I jump into the other stuff, I want to give thanks. I'm so grateful for that opportunity.
Oh, I am too.
For this opportunity. All right, so Chris and Cherie, I want to say just a couple of nice things. All right, so Chris and Cherie, when I got injured, and I was getting called to go on tour with Wu-Tang and couldn't, the Wu Killer Bees and stuff, I couldn't get going and get started. Like, when you start that, you got to agree, you got to sign something, you got to do a few different things. But I was also injured. I spoke to Chris 10 days before I left, and he said, you're going to come stay here with me? This is what's going to happen. And I was like, ayahuasca. Like, what? Like, I'm going to have this opportunity. So I go to my doctor, and I'm like, shoot me in the spine with something so I could walk around, because I was in intense pain all day. I didn't want to take any pills because you can't take nothing. So they gave me a spinal epidural. That year, that was my 12th spinal epidural, and I could not get another one when I came back. That was the other thing. They were like, your workman's comp isn't paying right now, so you're beat. So we'll just say that. So I was like, well, looks like I got nothing to lose.
Right. And
then I booked everything after that.
Mm-hmm.
Did an interview, I think, on his show even before I left. I think I was on. I was still Truth or Frank, leaving that weirdo position into something more because something was happening to me. I was injured and broken. And then went out there. And I'm telling you, from the first, I sat down. You can see video of this online. We have that ayahuasca ceremony out there. It's floating around. I got a red towel on my head. That's how you know it's us. And I'm going to just say this. I took 3 hits, like Terrence McKenna said, because I had listened to him coming on the plane and all kinds of things. You got to take the 3 hits. When I was on my 2nd hit, Chris was like holding my legs but didn't want to touch me because of what was happening. I watched a portal open right behind Chris and everyone else that was there. I mean, the whole room changed. And I was like, he's like, you want that 3rd hit? I was like, no. And then he stuck his face like it was in both worlds to me, and because I was losing everything. My whole thing was
because everything you knew to be true now is not.
You gotta take the third hit. Come on. He put it in my face. I took it. I didn't even exhale it. I was out of my body with some being dragging me through a portal, and I screamed, "Take me back! You killed me!" And then he's like, "You don't look dead." And then I saw them panicking because I was like, "Oh man!" And I could feel my body and my tongue. I was like, "It's open. My mouth is open. My tongue's hanging out." And this being throws me into my body, and I open my eyes, go. Take the breath, and my tongue was never hanging out of my mouth. It was a drop of saliva slightly going towards the outside of my mouth. Everything else was dry and fine. And how I even knew that was weird because I was in the middle of that moment. And I wet my mouth real quick, and I went, "No, there's nothing there really. There's really nothing there. What's going on? I think I'm okay." Gone.
Yep.
And I didn't come back for an hour and a half. When I came back, I felt really good.
Because you brought the information with you.
They removed from the first episode we talked this red box from me out of my chest. It disappeared. I screamed, "Give it back!" And it came back to me. And then I heard a voice say, "Fixed." And I was like, "Whoa, what's that?" They're like, "That's you." I'm like, No, you don't. Then they were like, "Oh, you like to do drugs, right? So what are you searching for?" I said, I write music and I'll get fucked up or something, right? And they go, "Yeah, you look up," and there was a choker on my light that goes up, and I don't know, it popped off, and it was the size of like a watermelon over my head of pure divine light of pure me came bursting in, and it was better than any line of cocaine or puff of weed or
anything.
Ecstasy or never done anything else, but you just. Like, what is this? Right? But I noticed that on the drugs, there were moments where you're like, wow, this has got to be the closest to God I'll ever get without being dead. Oh, it feels so good. And then that happens to you, and you realize you are full of it.
Yeah.
You didn't even know what you were talking about.
Exactly.
Not only does it not even imitate it palely and just, it's just like 0.0001 of what you might feel in your little finger compared to what it is.
Because alcohol and drugs, it's a synthetic feeling. It's feeding your ego. And the idea is to shrink your ego. Remember we were talking about that like before I met you? It took me a couple of years to really get a handle and on my ego, and I learned how to shrink
that's your
it.
Big thing. Before
it is.
You met me,
everything happened before, because I think if it didn't happen that way for me with the regression therapies and
so you did
the QHHT, but all of that had to happen before we met, because had that not happened, I would have seen you and you would have seen me, and we wouldn't have seen each other. We would have looked right past each other because we were both going in two completely different directions. And it took a lot of work to realize how easy it really is. Like, you just let all the bullshit go. You let all the nonsense go. You let the ego fall behind you. You just release it. You let it go.
It's hard.
It is. It's the hardest thing I ever did.
I was going to say, not only is the hardest thing you ever did, but how do you explain killing? You're not killing your ego. You're getting it in check, because you're going to become the ultimate in balance itself. But how do you explain to someone, well, this is how I did it, and I got to drop the ego, and they're like, all right, I can drop my ego.
Well, that's why we needed to do this, because when this was happening to me, everyone around me, now I'm viewing them with different eyes. And I'm realizing that I'm in situations here that I shouldn't be in. Good, bad, indifferent, it doesn't matter, whatever. I'm in situations here that are causing me to have this stress in my life, that are causing me to have this panic in my life. And when you work on your ego, and when you realize that, when you're ascending, you can't take it with you. You need to let this baggage go. Everything has to change. It's almost like when you go on a diet, or you make a lifestyle change. You can't keep the Pop-Tarts and the chips and the cookies in the cabinet if you're not.
like
yeah, but everyone has to change as well. You know, you don't fit in your relationships anymore. You don't fit with your friends anymore. You don't fit where you're working, what your career is. Things are different.
It.
You do.
Like the flower, you're growing nodes.
You do,
up
but your world, yes, but your world gets so small because you don't have many people to share these experiences with. You don't have many people to say, you know, like, this is what I worked on today, and it was very difficult, and I cried, and I died twice, and I reflected, and you know, there's not a lot of people that you can reach out to say, hey, I'm trying to make myself better. The world is shrinking. It's very scary. So that's why when you and I decided to do this, we had a lot of questions. We had a lot of issues. How do we handle this if it comes up? How do we handle that? And the only thing we could think of, and the only thing we kept coming back to, was transparency. If you're going to tell the story, you have to tell it like it is, whether or not you're portrayed in a derogatory light. And, you know, it's funny because I always used to say that with my friends. Like, I'll tell a story, like, even if it portrays me in a derogatory light, because it's the story I want to tell. Do you know what I mean? You can't be the hero in every story. You know, like, I stepped in dog poop today. That's what happened to me. It's not a hero's journey. Okay. This is what happened. But it's that simple. You know, these are the things that affected my life today. These are the things that I will not let affect my life tomorrow. Hence the change coming. We needed to make a change. This is the next chapter. We don't even know what's going to happen.
The next comic.
Yeah, the next
volume of the comic.
See, we got it.
Right?
Yeah.
FearLess, volume 2. We'll be back right after this. You're listening to FearLess on TruthFrequencyRadio.com.
You are now tuned into the truth frequency.
Your protection from deception. TLR.
Truth Frequency Radio.
Am I awake or is this a dream? A fantasy of where I'd rather be. So come and talk with me. Come and walk with me. Is this a wake-up call from my reality? Have you seen my friends? Have you seen my girl? Wake me up from this. I'm trapped in this world.
We are back. Last half of the show.
Forever.
It feels good, though. It's more of a review for me. I'm not afraid of anything any longer.
No.
I, too, have to face the fact that
We're evolving and
changing
changing all of the time.
I wrote it right here. Change is good.
Yeah.
Change is great.
Yeah, it's sad.
How will I know where I can go if I don't switch it up?
Yeah.
Right? When it becomes less than hyper exciting, I'm kind of not there, right? The stories right now, we're all caught up, guys and gals.
Yeah,
Sacred
nothing new has
feminine,
happened.
Sacred
Yeah.
masculine, you're risen. You're going to keep rising. You're listening. You know this already. I'm just barking the story at you at this point.
And again, we want to say thank you to everyone that takes the time to listen to me, to Frank,
Yeah, the chat room
to me and
folks,
Frank,
you
to
guys,
just
being
talking
in the
about,
Truth Frequency Room.
yeah, just thank you for
you so much.
taking the time to listen to us talk about everyday stuff. You know, we truly appreciate
Thanks
it.
to any guest we did have. Thank you to Chris and Cherie for
Yes,
allowing
for
us
the
platform,
opportunity.
right? So all the great hosts on all the other shows, thank you, Lucky, for everything you've ever done, right? I have a really strong attachment to certain people that I just listen to. Like, I still listen to Chris and Cherie. This isn't a separation like you guys, it might come across like, oh, we're leaving. We're not leaving.
Oh, yeah, we'll still be
I'm not
listening.
taking my bowl and going home. I'm just switching to a different venue so I can build and create at my rate without having to deal with any version of anything other than my own stuff. Period. Right? That's the best place to be for me and Paula. We made this decision together because we came into this together. Fearless wasn't there when I first met Paula. It wasn't there.
Yeah, it was something we did together. Well, it was more your idea, but I just
When
helped
we
you with
started the group had 6 people.
6 people.
That I added, and nobody ever went there. And when it was changing into the Fearless family, and it was turning into that, I was like, remember, I was in shock every day. We were doing meditations every day. The meditations every day were specific for the event that was taking place for that month, which was Chris and Cherie in Egypt. And then it's hard to keep up that pace. You know, we once again, it teaches us that we can do this and we can do it, and we'll do it again for sure. Yes, we can do this again. But it shows you what can be done with the power of raw consciousness people.
It really does, because if you look at the amount of people in the Fearless room on Facebook, the amount of people that are doing their own thing. You know, other people have started podcasts. Like Holly and Laureen, they have their own podcast.
Heart to heart, eye to eye.
Rock is always online. Just
have the Fearless family members. Yeah.
Yes, just telling people he loves them,
So
and
we
things
went
are
from
wpeople.
The 6 people I added that wanted really nothing to do with it. They're like, oh, Frank added me to a group. To the Fearless family with 390 people in there with a rotation that's really
awesome.
awesome.
It's a pretty good rotation.
And then the people that stepped out. So in a year's time, 2 years' time of doing this stuff, we've advanced leaps and bounds further than faster, like ascension together.
How many friendships and relationships have been started through the Fearless family? We're not going to name them all because
there's a lot.
But there's a lot. I mean, relationships, partnerships, best friends.
There was no I am, we are Fearless. I created that on the fly after going under, and they were like, yo, you know what the code is? I'm like, what's the code? Right? Like, I'm expecting some giant download and something.
Egyptian symbol.
Yeah, I'm ready, man. I thought I was going to have to fight reptilians for it and everything. And they're like, I am, we are.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I am, we are what? They were like, whatever you want.
Yeah.
Like, it's I am, we are. And I'm like, that's the password? That's it? They're like, that's the unlock. When you can believe it, balls to bones, like they say in the Matrix, right? That I am and we are. And I was like, well, that makes total sense. I went from being like unexcited about it. I was like, that I came all this way for that. And they were like, yeah. You notice how more advanced you get, the simpler it is in terms of explaining it. Like the transparency in the stories.
But it's the hardest thing.
You just say the story.
Overcoming fear is one of the hardest things you will ever do in your entire life.
All right, not only did we talk about all situations under our roof, because we told you total transparency, right, about the stories. So we go through it in the house and then go through it with other people and other beings. Then we have to get over our fear of talking, which I don't have. But I still get nervous and all that stuff. I still don't know if it's going to come out right. And then
it doesn't matter if it comes out.
Tell you the story.
Yeah, then tell you the story.
And then not feel like completely embarrassed when I'm talking about going number 2 and throwing up in buckets and getting slapped around by tentacles. Like, the stories are intense.
Yeah.
Like, I caught a lot of slack and flack or whatever from people when I told them these guys are in my house and used a weapon on me the last couple of episodes back. I caught so much crap from that just to have all these people on YouTube coming out fully explaining all of this stuff and how it's been going on and happening better than I can in full detail with white reports.
And what does it do? And what does it do? It validates you. It validates how you feel.
So when someone's like, man, did that really happen? I'm like, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Mind your business.
It doesn't matter.
So
yeah.
I don't want your interview.
It doesn't matter if you think it didn't happen.
I know. So now I'm stronger because it'll never happen again.
Exactly, because you're prepared for it. And again, fear is
they only get 1 to 2 shots at this.
But it is. Fear is the hardest thing to overcome because.
But they drive that nail into your coffin. They try to get you to believe the worst. That this is really an ugly world filled with ugly people. But the truth is not that. It's polluted. And we don't know. The ignorant are about to relearn who they are. That they're truly divine essence. And once they stand in that, game over. And the game is over for you and I, Paula. There's no game anymore because you're not wearing a mask.
No,
just-
but
it's just us.
I have always been like that. You when we first met, you didn't believe it.
But
You
you've advanced in the years.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, so
Totally.
then,
Without
for sure.
question.
So then you
I'm not
hit
the
a
same person.
checkpoint.
I'm not the same person I was last month, 30 days ago.
I wasn't the same person I was yesterday and a few hours ago. Right? Like, we're both smiling and stuff. It's pretty weird right now.
It's actually silly. Yeah.
Well, considering everything that's going on, I'm like excited now. I don't know what it is. This internal thing clicked. I hit a checkpoint and I knew.
Because we don't know what's going to happen, but it's
I'm-
exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
I feel like I'm waiting for the ride at
I
Great
know.
Adventure.
Yes.
but
Yes.
the
It's
craziest
anxious.
ride on
Yes.
Earth. You get a hint of what it is, but you never fully see it because maybe it's inside the Space Mountain or something, and you're like, oh, bro, and you see the little car fly out and come around, go back in, and you're like, I don't know what's going on, but I know that this is going to be awesome.
Uh-huh.
And then you get in there and they strap you in and they just launch you into space, and you're like, whoa. That was the greatest experience of my life, right? Like, I got launched into
Until the
space.
next greatest experience of your life.
Yeah, until I'm up in space and then
Exactly.
looking down going, what's the next thing?
One of the chat room folks are asking if they'll be able to see me on screen
Yeah.
on YouTube Live. And the answer maybe is yes. Maybe I'm going to go for it. I don't know.
Well, there'll be
I don't
plenty of
know.
room in the camera lens. Oh, yeah, everything we're going to do now is going to be on video. It's going to be, yeah. Well, it has to be. You can't.
No, I understand that.
Don't
But
front
no,
Paula.
I know that. I got to overcome
Beautiful
that fear.
translator,
I
Paula,
have
Milo.
that's my fear I have to overcome.
See, and I have to get over the fear of going live on video as well because I'm
Oh,
standing-
you're a pro. You look wonderful when you're on Facebook. When you do all those live videos on Facebook, you look so handsome.
Thank you so much for saying that.
You're welcome so much.
So, all right. Well, I'm going to use that as the moment to. You can find us at the Fearless Family in the Facebook groups, right? Answer the question. We'll let you in. It's just that simple. Join us for the meditations, for the long talks that we have that are fantastic. Special interviews. When someone comes out of the crowd from the background, right? Like you see them, you had a good conversation with them, maybe they contacted with you, and then you have an experience with them, and then you're like, come on, bro, let's just talk. And in the group, though, not on Facebook, everywhere. Like Chris broadcasts everywhere. He has it like that. And I'm still nervous about doing that, like across the board, so everyone can just see. So I send it into the Facebook group and have some of the best conversations you've ever heard in your life. And it's just 6 months ago, these same people were going through the roughest thing.
Yes, the
They
roughest
hit rock
times.
bottom
Yes.
and they made the comeback, and
Yep.
then they're coming from the Christian direction or whatever direction you're coming at.
You and
atheist.
I were raised Catholic. We went all the way up
Father
to
Tom is
confirmation.
now my cousin,
Yeah.
married to my baby cousin, who I love very much, and they have 3 beautiful
Father
kids.
Kelly, he was my favorite. He had a tattoo. It was very Thornbirds like, but in my head, nothing ever happened.
Well,
But I shouldn't have said that.
technically, there's nothing really holy about them, so it
No,
doesn't really matter.
No doubt.
It's-
But Frank and I were raised Catholic, so this was hard for us. It was hard for me. I celebrated Lent the first year that I knew Frank because I felt guilty, and then I said, "You got to get over this. This is ridiculous."
You know what, Don Longbeard? I remember you not being on camera right away. I was like, where is this guy? I need to see his face. So I remember it took him a minute to get out there, too. We all have that issue.
You know what it is? You know what it is? It's not what I look like, because I don't care what anyone thinks about what I look like. I don't have a poker face. Frank calls me the worst liar in the world because I don't have a poker face.
Oh, Paula
So-
has no... You got to watch her lie. It's the funniest thing in the world.
Yeah, I
it looks
can't-
like someone wrote it into a movie and had an actor come in and just ruin it.
Thanks, babe. But I get so, like, I can't hide it's written all over my face. So I don't know if I'm ready for the world to see.
Well, you're not lying, so it doesn't matter.
No, I know that, but but my
It's
facial
more
expressions
her
say
shocks
it.
toward me.
I'm not shocked by anything by you. Nothing shocks me because I love you.
So I love you too. So the talks will be longer with no breaks and stuff. Oh, so you can come find us in the Facebook groups.
Oh yeah,
If
yeah,
that's
yeah.
if that's where you want to be. Like a lot of people don't do the Facebook thing. So
Yes,
beyond that-
and we apologize for the people that don't like to go onto the internet. And I know a lot of people listen.
Thanks, Brent. I love you guys so much.
And we do apologize, but this is the only way that we can do it.
Portal coming up next, by the way. Right. So, yeah. Look, we all have to do this. We have to step forward together in all layers and levels, right? All out in the open, kind of, because collectively, you ain't doing nothing to all of us, but you might grab one of us if nobody else comes out, right? So you might as well just see my face now. You know, I worked for the USDA as a federal inspector for years, food inspector, blueberry. I could talk about this now because it's been so long. But you know how long it took me to say that? Listen to any interview I've ever done and then realize when I started saying, I was a USDA federal inspector. That's why I knew about the UFO thing, which it was just in one of the books. What is this doing here?
Yeah, and you wanted them to spend more.
Blueberries, they're like UFOs. I'm like, what?
But it's food. It's food being brought onto the planet. I guess I don't know how to.
Biological.
Yeah, biologicals. Anything. Kind, food, liquids, anything. Yeah, I wonder if they're only allowed to bring 3 ounces on.
I'd be like, man, you can't bring this stuff here. So it was us in the fire department, and there's so very few federal food inspectors at the level that I was at, because I was awesome.
But didn't you want them?
I was the top guy for 6 years.
But didn't you want them to spend more time on the chapter? And they were like, no, we're moving on.
Yeah, no, they didn't. Like, yeah, it is what it is. They were like, it's logical. It just says right there, Frank, what it is.
They didn't want to talk about it.
But so you're telling me the fire department goes first or second? They're like, well, it's kind of whoever gets there first is in charge of the scene. Alongside of this, that, the other thing, they deputize. I go, yeah, I want to talk about that a little bit because I was into 9/11's an inside job, and where I worked in Hunts Point's not too far from all that, from the city and stuff.
Yeah.
So we're all involved here. So I was at the 9/11's an inside job. Ooh, look, a UFO on YouTube. I had my own few paranormal experiences. I was nothing like the way I am now. So I was a rock star when I got off work. I was in Heist did music for 22 years almost. Right? So I started yapping, and they were like, dude, get out. They were like, you, Frank? They were like, leave. And I go, yeah, this is the beautiful thing about being the top federal inspector in the entire
East Coast.
No, it wasn't the East Coast. It was all inspectors. So
oh, really?
I go, one thing cool. That's beautiful about, well, it's highest revenue. That's how you get that. So I'm like, once you hit that level, there ain't nothing you can do. And I don't know who you are with a suit and tie, but you don't get to come into my office and tell me what to do. My boss walked in. She goes, Frank, get out. And I went, God damn it. Right. And I just walked out. I've been thrown out of more meetings than you guys will ever believe. And I've seen more corruption and dark, underhanded crap. And being a rock star in the middle of that, they threw some of their sass at me like, hey, wink, wink. You know what you'll get if you wink, wink. Come over here and rock star me, buddy. I've seen all of it. I've seen the backstage. I've seen it from stage. It's all bullshit across the board. And now I'm so far out of my position.
But 50% of our lives that we live, 50% is all bullshit.
Yeah.
50% is bullshit. It takes a long time to realize that. It takes almost a lifetime to realize all that programming, all that garbage with which religion is the best religion and doing things. You have to do things this way or you won't live a productive life. It's all garbage. And once you get past all of that and all of the fluff and all of the shiny new things, you realize what's really important. And what is left is people, interaction with other people, animals, life around you. That's what's left when all of the other garbage is gone.
It's hard to explain to people that don't like animals, right? That might not be your purpose, which is fine. Maybe
you were one of those people. You were one of those people.
I was afraid more. I thought it was great. I think animals are great. I always thought they were great. And I used to watch Shark Week until I hung out with you. I watched Shark Week all the time because I was going through this weird thing.
Yeah,
and I'd watch it on TV, but I'm afraid to get close to you. So you don't take me on the safari in Bronx Zoo.
Right, I'm watching it. I could shut the TV off. Yeah, if I don't like it, I could shut the TV off.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I don't want the tiger come running up to me. Like I'm having problems with that. So, and I told the story the first time I met the deer, working for the USDA. I was living up in Westchester. come out of my house 5 a.m. The deer just sees me, walks right up to me, and I lose it. It happened in 1 second, and all it wanted to do, it wanted to lick my hand because I had the liquid cup. It was steaming and it was snowy, and it was a perfect situation for me of just to go, how
nature,
beautiful. And perhaps share my coffee with I don't know. I didn't know. And instead I screamed like a little girl, threw the coffee straight up in the air. This thing just walked towards me, and I went, and I ran back into my apartment. Then I was like, I'm a man. I'm dressed like a SWAT team guy.
No,
you were. I look at blueberries like a blueberry SWAT team.
You were being a pussalophagus.
Yeah, pussalophagus. So I went from that to facing down every layer of fear within me. Then, alongside with Paula, then a year into that, right?
Yeah.
Is when we came out with the show Fearless, and we couldn't think of a name for the whole time. And then right at the end.
And you had been saying it since we met. I'm becoming fearless.
Yeah.
I'm learning to overcome fear. And that's one of the conversations that we first had.
And that's the intro. I'm becoming fearless.
Because
that's it. That's it.
You let it go.
Right? It's
let it
either
go.
Love
or fear.
Or fear.
And everything else in between. Every emotion you can imagine in between. But there's two. It's love and the lack of love. The farther down the line you go, you reach fear.
Paula and I are just proving to ourselves over and over and over that this could be done. And we take the leap of faith together.
Yes, and privately we do it also.
In our personal life.
There's growth personally always.
So I was
but yes, then we come together, and
I said to Paula, I always loved the team. I've always been searching for the team, the family, the team. I kept saying it to her over and over, and I never felt like I did it. Like I can't hold on to it for as long as I want to, like that I desire, and then. It just landed in my face. Yes. I went fearless family. I wait a second. We're the family.
Yes.
It's us. We didn't wait a second. And then boom, 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 boom. All this stuff unlocked in me.
Yes.
Right? And I was like, oh, it's time. It is time to shine. Now, it's scary. The first thought is scary. I don't know. Oh, should I? Shouldn't I? Oh, I don't know. Should I? Oh, yeah, we all go through it.
What do you think? Yeah.
Right?
What do you think?
I'm not going through that no more.
Right.
I'm not being afraid of it.
Because it doesn't matter.
Yes,
it doesn't matter.
But it's that choice point.
Yeah.
Love or fear.
Yeah.
You know
Pick
what?
one.
I love me and I love Paula, and I looked at Paula and I said, why can't my family just be my team? And then I looked at Paula and we were looking at the cats and we were like, yeah, like we're in. And
we're in.
I just consciously felt fearless family. It was like I wrote, the wind of change is coming. It's upon us. This is when this happened to me. It's in the Fearless group. The wind of change is upon us. It's great. It's full expansion. It's standing on your own 2 feet. It's knowing that you can and you can do and you will do, right? You just will.
You will. You'll have setbacks. But you know what? You allow yourself the setback and you move on. And you start from where you are at that moment. You know, people want to start a diet on Monday or Friday or whatever. Start where you are.
Right now.
Yeah. Just be less shitty today than you were yesterday.
You started when you had that initial feeling. By the time you were able to react to anything but the new feeling, you'd be 2 days into it.
But it doesn't even matter because you start where you are.
It's Monday, and I did it on a Friday, and
right.
And it's like I never thought I could do a water fast. It'll make a raw consciousness being out of you.
Just be kind.
Go plant a plant and put it in your house by the window and water it and keep it alive and tell it how much you love it.
And if it dies, it's your fault. No, I'm kidding.
Get into the shower and look up at the water as it's hitting you and say, thank you, water. I greet you, water, because the water is alive.
Okay, we got 4 minutes. I don't know if you want to.
Shout outs to Woodland One Creation, Rihanna and Bert. Shout outs to Jody and Josh. You, the magician.
Yeah, and you're all coming with us. We're in YouTube. We're just going to be next door on YouTube.
TruthFrequencyRadio.com family.
Yes.
All right. A lot of you hosts, I'm going to admit this, like in my private life, are my heroes. So continue.
Yeah, continue
journey.
your great work. Continue your journey.
You can find us on YouTube at Frank Castle FearLess. And you can check out the store if you like. wearefearless.com. You can find us everywhere.
Rihanna, Mama, you're coming with us. Next door to YouTube, you're coming.
We are a family that is united and growing. Okay?
Yeah, we're just moving next door.
We're just moving next door, that's all. And it's glorious because what we're going to be able to create.
We don't even know yet.
The can do.
Yeah.
It's just the can do attitude,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, we're just going to do it. We're going for it. And it's scary and exciting, and it's a lot of different things. But it's a good feeling. I'm excited.
I'm hyper excited. I don't even know what I'm excited about, but you know what? I feel like I do know. See, this is the weird thing. I know who I am. So any name I give you and tell you, it's just Frank Castle's fine.
I'm
right?
just your girlfriend.
It's just the message that needs to come through. The rest is going to be revealed. I'm in gnosis of what and who I am. It's going to be awesome.
I know.
For all of us.
I know.
Just breathe, ground yourself, be nice, be kind, be polite, be awesome, be firm, say no, build your energy, clear yourself, clear your space. Don't let anything in it.
Love yourself.
Don't be a victim.
Love yourself. Love each other. Be kind.
Remember, change is good. Drop your ego masks. Drop them. You can learn something from everything.
Did you say everything you wanted to say?
I think I did. I really think I did. I have stuff written down. Follow your synchronicities.
Oh, I want to say something. I want to say thank you, Frank, for giving me the opportunity to say what I want to say every Saturday. And I want to tell you how much I love you, and you are forever my best friend.
That was pretty awesome. Thank you so much. My eyes are going to tear up in a moment. So thank you, Paula Milo, for being there as my etherical translator, my favorite person on the planet, my partner in crime.
Yes.
I love you with all of my heart, and I'm going to continue doing that, and I'm going to continue the story, and you're going to find us everywhere, and you're going to find Truth Frequency everywhere, and you're going to find everyone attached everywhere.
Everywhere.
Why? Because
yes.
we
are fearless.
That's how this works.
And we will be on YouTube 9 p.m. Eastern next Saturday night.
Yeah, there's going to be plenty of stuff, plenty of things to tune into. We got the world in our hand. It's the cheesiest thing. We have it.
Yeah.
You have the ability to do this. You have the power.
So we're going
now
for
it's
it.
Time to put it forth.
And again, we love you. We love everyone. And I'm not just saying I love you like, oh, schmoozy, I love you. No, I truly mean from the bottom of my heart, I love anyone that takes the time to listen to what I have to say. And for that, I love you. And for so much more. Kenzie Templeton, you're probably one of my favorite people in the whole world. Mwah, I love you. But I love you all.
Dawn, thank you for being with us all the time.
All the
and
time.
All the emails. I love you. Thank you for being part of that.
And all of you. There are so many of you. And we're going to reach out.
Thank you, HB girl.
And if you need to reach out to us.
Yeah, we're here. We're rock and roll.
We're just next door.
Remember to raise your frequency, right?
Yeah, continue to raise that
frequency.
frequency.
To ours, but you're just going to have to keep raising that frequency. And I want you to remember something. Above all things, universe
rewards bravery.
Yeah. I'm Frank Castle. This is Paula Milo, my etheric translator.
And we are fearless.
And we are fearless.
We love you. We love you so much.
Rock and roll. Rock and roll's nothing without you. Remember that.